welcome to the 84th episode of the Karstcast movie cast. And
lucky number 84.
Lucky number 84. And boo! Happy Halloween.
What if you edit this to be like, when you say boo, it's like super loud? Because in audio, that's the way you scare people. Since this is mainly an audio podcast.
So I'm going to do that.
And then you also have to make it like extra loud to like hurt their ears, like damage their hearing.
So by now they're like, they can't hear anything we're saying. So they're like, oh my, did I lose
also add like a tinnitus like ringing sound. So they think it's in their ears.
Yep. So they think,
so they think that we severely hurt their hearing.
But then as soon as I go like this, gotcha. And you just got trick-or-treated by the Karstcast.
You got tricked.
Yeah,
now
I'm also gonna wait.
Is us talking about Hubie Halloween.
Jeff, what was Franklin D. Roosevelt's middle name? What does that D stand for?
It's Delano.
Holy shit, you got it.
Yeah, dude, I'm very old. I was alive when he was president.
Man, I straight up did not expect you to get this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty common to hear someone say his whole name, like Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Oh, I guess when you put it all together, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no, that was one of the more softballs. I've had a cold streak overall.
Yeah. It's been
yeah.
You got it for Halloween. That's the scariest part about this one is that Jeff got it right. That's.
I don't know. That's kind of mean.
But... Yeah, I take it back. I was gonna remind everybody about the merch. The
merch. Yeah. Yeah. We have a little bit of merch left.
Still trying to get it out there. I know a lot of people. You guys have been sending us your photos of you in the merch. Keep them coming. You guys are looking great. So thank you so much for the support. And go to karstcast.com if you want to get yourself a hat.
Which I was impressed you got karstcast.com.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it's a good website.
It's official, yeah.
But then I also realized why would anyone else have already registered?
Right.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot of competition for that website.
No. Now if we were able to get jeff.com, that'd be huge. I mean,
honestly, we could stop doing the podcast and just sell the domain for like $1 million and just call it a day.
So I guess I'm growing this mustache. That's all that's been on.
It's kind of
my agenda.
Is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, you said that earlier when I sent a really bad photo of myself in the car.
Yeah, and because you've had previous mustaches where I was on the fence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never said that to my face, but you've come out and say that you were on the fence.
Yeah, I was on the fence. I'm not saying it was necessarily bad, but I'm just saying I wasn't convinced it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now you're convinced. I mean,
yeah, I am absolutely leaning towards good at the moment.
Sweet, thank you, Jeff. You've always been able to pull it off, so I'm hoping to get to that full beard level that you.
Thanks. Yeah, I kind of just been fluctuating on how much beard I'm going with, but.
Well, I'm doing the interesting thing here where it's like I shaved the sideburns and now they're kind of growing in at a different rate, so it's like all consistently hairy, but it's different rate of hair, and I think that's a look. So.
Yeah, it's a good look to where it's like, I don't care how I look, but in a cool way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
what about what's been on your mind?
Well, I tweeted about to talk to you on Twitter. Yeah. Which is the only place to tweet. After using the verb tweet, I don't know where else I was going to go with that. But I had a couple people who said say hi to you from them. So one of them was patron Vegard Strom, who sent us a picture of them in the hat.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, Vegard.
So, then also one was from someone whose display name on Twitter is Finanthony64Tano.
Hello.
And it's possibly Finn.
The easiest way to reach out to me is to just go through Jeff,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So those were the only two people. Other people said some other stuff, but those two people specifically said, say hi to you.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people doubted that we were going to talk to each other, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
But
there's a theory that we don't talk to each other, that I record me just talking and then you like record you separately later, and I'm just good at leaving spaces for you to talk.
Yeah. And there's just a lot of editing that's done.
Right. Yeah, which weirdly, I actually had a very short-lived podcast called The Borslow Zone I did with my brother.
Yeah.
And one of the episodes, that's actually what I did. Because it was like I recorded it, and it was kind of like a semi-scripted, and the stuff that we talked about, I just didn't think was that good. So I pretty much wrote it. I wrote his parts, wrote my parts. I just said all my parts, and then sent him the script to record in Texas, where he had like a different studio set up with some guy who's a producer who was like just recording him talking over it. And I did his lines just to make it so it flowed.
Yeah.
I did his lines in like a high-pitched voice.
Oh my God.
So he knew what to talk over with, just so he knew like the inflection I wanted it for him to like say it in.
Yeah. I guess that does it for an intro. I figured we're doing a double feature today. It's another one of those double episodes, so we might as well get into the movie sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Where you want to go first with this? Because
I could go either way.
Yeah.
I kind of want to jump into Hubie.
That's what I was thinking.
Awesome. All right.
I just think there's a little bit more to say.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and Little Shop of Horrors is kind of just the extra little topic.
It's just like the little bonus one.
Yeah.
Little bit of Rick Moranis.
Right. Well, technically, this is like the opposite of a concert where we're opening with the main act, and then the encore is the...
Right. Yeah, but concerts, there's usually less of a chance that people are going to walk out if they don't like it. And in a podcast, there's a very large chance someone, if they're like, I don't want to hear about this movie, they're just going to stop listening. Yeah.
Today we're talking about Hubie Halloween first. This is a Netflix movie directed by Stephen Brill. Came out this year.
I want to hear the synopsis, the Google synopsis.
It's not long. It stars Adam Sandler, and the synopsis here reads, it's October 31st in Salem, Massachusetts, and a town's eccentric, devoted community volunteer and the good-natured object of his fellow citizens, derision? Is that the word?
Yes.
Derision?
Yes.
And meanest pranks finds himself in the midst of a real investigation for a real murderer.
Perfect.
This was a tough synopsis to read, all right? For the record, I'm going to cut it. But
for this movie, why would you add large words that not everyone knows to the synopsis?
Well, okay, that's like there's no
antithesis of this film is difficult vocabulary.
In everybody else's defense here, there are no large words here. That's what the movie's about. Literally, that's not even really what the movie's about. It is, but yeah, you didn't need to read that to. Anyways,
no, and also reading that again, this movie. Part of the point of this film is that there's nothing for you to interpret. There's nothing for you to even like question. There's nothing that you should have any problem understanding.
No.
So why would they make the synopsis something that not everyone would understand?
Yeah, that's about all you need to know. Adam Sandler famously said that if he doesn't get nominated for the Oscar for Uncut Gems, he would make the worst movie possible. And this was obviously made before that statement was put out, but this is naturally the first movie that's come out since Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. And it's stupid, but I wouldn't say it's a bad movie.
It's not bad.
It's not a bad movie.
Very stupid, but stupid doesn't necessarily equate to bad.
No, exactly.
Especially for this film, which, to be very fair, it knows, everyone making this film knows it's stupid.
Yeah. I have some mixed feelings on this movie because I agree. I think it's very stupid, very entertaining, and I think there's so much to appreciate about that. Like, that's an impressive feat, is something I realized during this, because it's so easy to be stupid and dumb and then be boring. I think that's really easy to do, but to make it like consistently very entertaining.
I just realized the point you just made is that it's easy to make a film that's stupid, dumb, and boring. Fair enough, it is.
It is. And this one's not. this was not boring at all, is what I'm saying. But there are some like issues with it. But that's like, what do we,
Right. I mean, I think also you have to view this film in the context within who it's meant to be seen by.
Yeah.
This film is literally meant for an entire family to watch it, to like be entertained the whole time, and then forget about it. It's not for like what we're doing. This film is not for us to talk about it on a movie podcast. No. What are we even doing?
Oh, exactly. But I will say, I don't think this is a family film. Because that one lady's got like, I shaved my balls for this shirts on, and like,
right.
there's plenty of like adult jokes. I feel like I shaved my balls isn't like a ridiculously mature thing, but
yeah,
I'm just saying it's not like I wouldn't consider this. But
I don't think it's a young. I would say it's for like 13-year-olds or 14-year-olds.
Yeah, it's like in the category of Ted,
right?
It's like middle schoolers are gonna get a kick out of it.
Right. It's going to feel like a raunchy film to people in middle school.
Mm-hmm. You know what? We're getting to the bottom of it. This is like such a good middle school movie. I feel like middle schoolers would love this. Like all together. Yeah.
Because then like the dumb voice Adam Sandler does the whole time, like you would still think that's kind of funny.
All right. So I thought that voice was hilarious. And I feel so young and dumb for that. I thought it was
it's just such an Adam Sandler thing to do. It's just like he just loves doing dumb voices.
And this one's so good because it's like there's the one scene like very near the beginning where he's talking to the cop and he rolls the window up and it's just that close up of his like and it's so stupid. It's not funny, but I was like, this is
it's
good.
Kind of endearing in that you understand every joke in this film.
Yeah.
Even when it's not that funny, you're still like, oh, that was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah.
And then you're like, amusing enough.
I miss movies like this. This feels very much like something you would get in that like golden age of like where comedies were kind of at the top all the time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the Seth Rogen and James Franco movies and stuff.
Those very broad audience type of comedies.
Right.
Where the type of comedy in it is like more like slapstick. It's not intellectual comedy where they're trying to set up these like complex circumstances. It's like a normal thing happens and then someone will throw something at Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Well, you're
like, haha, they almost hit him with a bike or something.
Yeah. Well, it's just full of jokes. There are, even if they're not all funny, even if most of them are like pretty stupid, there are jokes like from front to back, And I feel like recently, at least, and maybe this is just me, I haven't seen a comedy movie that wasn't trying to be something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's been some like great comedies recently, but they all feel, at least like the mainstream ones with big budgets like this.
Yeah.
There hasn't been one that just feels like it's throwing a bunch of stupid ideas at the wall.
Yeah.
Some of them stick and some
I just
of them
think it's like at this point it's noteworthy that this film does not try to make any point at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing like
it's
poignant.
There's nothing to it.
And that's the thing is that, and even from the outset, you understand that going into it, and it's just like pure escapism.
Mm-hmm. That's
where you just turn your brain off and watch Adam Sandler do dumb stuff.
Yeah. That's the thing about this is that I put it on this morning, honestly, like right as I woke up. I was like, I guess now's a better time than any to watch Hubie Halloween. Watched it on my phone, which I don't think makes a difference. I just laid in bed and watched it on my phone, and I had a great time. I was not expecting, to be honest, to finish the whole thing in one sitting. I was going to do that, make breakfast, and then come back. But I was having such a good time, I kind of just plowed through it.
Okay, now getting into the actual film, because we kind of talked like around the film.
Yeah.
The editing is like very snappy.
It's so snappy. That is something I definitely wanted to bring up. Like, they filmed so much. Like, every scene feels like it has every angle for what's going on, and they just cut all the time.
Yeah, it's like a very well-paced film as well.
Yeah.
And the overarching mystery in the film is actually like it's enough to give like the side of you that likes like thriller mystery films. Like it actually kind of like scratches that itch a bit.
Yeah.
I hate using that term. I've never used that in my entire life, and I just said scratching that itch.
That was
why did I say that?
That was an awful way of describing it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I hate when people use that phrase, and that's the first time I've ever used it.
Right now, you know what? Never mind. Well,
we're gonna play a sound effect.
No, I was itching my foot as you were saying that, and
I thought you were gonna do like a.
Oh. Well, it didn't warrant that, to be honest.
There we go.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
No, that's true. I think this has like that's another thing it does so much is it's referencing a lot of different types of horror movies. I think it goes through the whole list, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it does it just kind of like pays homage in a really, albeit like lazy way, but it gets the job done. And at one point they're doing it turns into like a whodunit, like a very blatant like setup for that where it's like a murder mystery.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think it did any of that well or like enough to really bring it home, but it was fun.
It did it enough to make it like you would get just enough invested in it to follow the plot and not like be bored.
Right, exactly.
Like this film was a vehicle to just shove cameos at you.
Dude,
the whole film, every 5 minutes, you're like, hey, I know who that is.
Great.
Hey, look, it's Shaq.
Great segue. Yeah, this thing is stacked out the ass. Where literally, like you said, every 5 minutes I was like, that's a person I know from something. And most of the time, they're more than that. They're like full-blown celebrities. But, I just... Crazy how many people are in this movie.
I'm honestly just surprised that David Spade wasn't in this movie.
That's such a good point. What the hell? I don't know. Who was your favorite celebrity cameo?
That's a good question.
I have an answer.
All right, I don't know. Yeah, you go first.
Mine, to be honest, I think it's Shaq.
His cameo was the joke they did with Shaq is just the most like generic.
It's a really
like teenager type joke.
Stupid joke.
Ever.
Yeah. It wasn't even the joke that I liked. I just liked that Shaq was in the movie.
That Shaq's in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's funny, and let me just double check that this is who that was. It looked like him. That was Kevin James, right?
Yeah, it was Kevin James as the police officer. Yeah.
He had a big. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say this isn't a cameo, but Steve Buscemi was so good.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Steve. He killed this. I thought he was so good. So
he
fun.
was the only one in the film that I was like, that was a good acting performance.
Yeah. That is something I just really appreciate about Steve Buscemi, is that he, no matter what it is, the man has so much range, and no matter what he's doing, he always gives it his all, and just kind of steals the show in whatever scene he's in, and I love that about him. Like, he doesn't take himself that seriously as an actor, based on what he chooses to do, but when he's acting, he gets the job done.
Yeah. It's a film that if you're bored and you see it on Netflix, you could watch it and not feel bad.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest.
You're like, this will be entertaining enough. And it's like, because so many times I'm like, I'm in the mood to watch something, but I don't want to have to think about it. And I don't want to watch something that it's like on my list because that means I have to pay attention.
Yeah.
So just throw this on.
Throw it on.
You could be on your phone. Doesn't matter. You're not going to miss anything.
No, yeah. I was in a bad mood when I woke up and I threw this on, and it was a great way to start the day. I felt so happy watching it. Even if it's not a great movie, I was like, I'm happy right now.
Yeah.
One thing
the way I rate this movie is definitely at a different scale than other films.
Yeah.
It's not playing by the same rules.
Yeah. I will say there is one thing about this movie that I really don't like, and it's I don't know if you know the actor by name, but the whole Noah Schnapp plotline, who is like the Stranger Things kid, and he plays Tommy, the freshman, you know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Yeah, I just thought that was unnecessary. And every time...
Wait, he's in Stranger Things?
Yeah, that's Will. That's the kid. That's the kid that gets in the...
It is?
Yeah, that's the kid.
What?
Right? He's old now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks normal now. He doesn't look like he's going to snap in half if someone pokes him.
Yeah. I feel so old talking about him like that.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, he's... I don't know. I just thought that was so... It's so red, like Netflix just threw him in there because they knew he'd bring in a big fan base of Stranger Things fans. And he really did need to be in the movie. And every time he was in the movie, I was like, I want to see Adam Sandler do the funny voice, not the... I don't want to watch him get black coffee for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was just a side rant.
Yeah.
I just didn't think he needed to be in the movie, but yeah.
Honestly, I didn't mind it.
You didn't mind it. It's hey, well, I'm alone here, but that's my thoughts on that.
Okay, what was the deal with the party though? Like, was this a supervised party? When the high school party?
Yeah.
How was it in how are there hundreds of people there?
I know that was.
I didn't understand.
I didn't think about that. That was a crazy party.
There's no way that 17-year-olds could afford to throw this party.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't.
And there's live music.
Live music. I will say this got me in the Halloween mood.
Yeah.
And it's usually tough to crack me in that because it's like I don't know. It's like, but this one for some reason just felt so. What's the word? Felt like the holidays, you know?
Yeah. This one cracked you like an egg.
Nope. We're gonna get the hang of these eventually. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was God, talking a lot of good stuff about this movie. I thought it was really well shot. For the most, some parts, the lighting was interesting and bright, and I don't know. I the lighting was bright.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It was definitely shot like a comedy because it is.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of the stuff that was supposed to be dramatic was shot and lit very to the extent where it was very obvious what they were trying to do. You know. Yeah. Where they had this very hard shadows all over Steve Buscemi when he was a werewolf, and they're moonlight, and it's they just you know, it was but I mean it worked for what it was doing.
Yeah. I also feel like most comedies and most Netflix produced movies, they're always just kind of do the bare minimum with the cinematography, where they're oh yeah, it looks just barely artsy or watchable. As long as you can see the joke, it's fine. But I don't know. I thought this one kind of did a little bit of extra sometimes. Yeah. But I don't know. I had a good time watching this movie. I will probably watch it again if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I might watch it next Halloween.
Yeah. What if we just watch this in the middle of April?
It'd be a weird.
I'm in the mood for Hubie Halloween right now.
Yeah, I also liked how this film had a lot of crowd scenes, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what crowds are like.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. It was kind of weird how they said it in Salem, Massachusetts, and they had this very small Salem witch trial references. And after that, it didn't matter that it was in Salem.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a part of the plot.
Yeah, it's someone wrote the script, and they're like, it would be cool if this was set in Salem. And then they're like, okay, Salem witch trial thing. And then they just forgot where it was set the rest of the film, and it didn't matter.
That is the thing. It feels like a lot of different movies are going on here. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But, I mean, it keeps things interesting at least.
Do they grow corn in Salem, Massachusetts?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know much about.
Because there's a corn maze there, and if they don't grow corn, that's a little bit of an oversight.
It's weird,
Because this felt, every part of this film besides them just saying it's Salem, felt like it was the middle of Indiana or something.
Yeah, I was going to say it feels Ohio-ish.
Yeah, it feels Midwest. It doesn't feel... And
I think they just wanted to put it there so that it wasn't, they didn't want to repeat themselves because Stranger Things is Midwest, and I don't know. That's probably not the reason, but... I was about to say, I don't think that just because the Stranger Kid thing... No,
everyone's going to think this is Stranger Things Season 4.
God, what an off day.
Stranger Things season 4, and it's Hubie is like the Demogorgon.
Do you have a good Hubie impression, Jeff? Just asking.
No, I
for
don't.
Fun. Okay, cool.
Do you?
No. I mean,
so wait, you were gonna try to get me to do it, and then
yeah,
you weren't
I just wanted to see if you had one. Yeah. Well,
I can't do it.
No, I couldn't even.
I was gonna try, and I don't think I can.
I would need an immediate reference. Like I could listen to him now and then go right into it. But yeah. What are you feeling for a rating for this?
So I gave it a 3 out of 5.
That's exactly where I'm at. Exactly 3 out of 5. I can't justify this as like a 3, like anything higher, to be honest, because it's just like. Can't. Slow down. It's a fun time. But it's not the best movie out there.
Right.
But it's also just not a bad movie at all.
It's very much successfully trying to be exactly what they wanted it to be.
Right.
Even though it feels like a film that it was like four guys who are 50 years old sat down in a room and wrote it in one go. They just wrote it like just out consecutively, all the lines. Mm-hmm. And we're like, haha, that's funny. What if a thermos did a bunch of other stuff?
Yeah. I loved the thermos thing, to be honest. I think Hubie works as a Halloween character. Like, people can dress up as him. And I think that's cool. It's a very, very like distinct...
the socks and, like, the long cargo shorts?
Yeah. Wait, so it'll be Halloween by the time we do the next episode, right?
Yes.
Can I share my 2 Halloween... I have 2 Halloween costume ideas that I've come to. One is I think I might be Adam Driver, where I'm going to dress up. My face will be like an atom, ATOM, and then I'll have like a wheel or something. So I'm an atom.
I get it, yeah.
All right, so let's keep brainstorming. The other one, do you know who John Waters is? John Waters? Yes. Okay, so
with the mustache, I see it.
So yeah, I would do something with I would just shave the mustache to get the pencil mustache or whatever.
The very thin one, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the end of it. I'd be John Waters, and then I'd get like
I got it. Here's my guess. I have a guess. All right. You would dress up as a toilet, and you have a glass of water.
So I considered the toilet thing, but that would be hard to pull off. But there was going to be water involved. Yes, I was just going to... yeah. I was going to get maybe like a whatever the watering... What are they called? Watering...
Why can we not remember what this is called?
Wait, watering...
Can?
What's it called? It's called do these have names?
Is it a watering can?
It's totally not a watering can, but that's what they're listed as. What? What the fuck is that? I was not taught it to be. We're going to say watering can.
What does it say it was?
A watering can.
Yeah, it's a watering can.
Fuck.
It can't be a watering can.
It's not called a watering. I'm going to just search, what is a watering can called? I'm just
going to show you a picture of a watering can.
A watering pot. A pot sounds better.
That's wrong, though.
It's called
a watering pot.
It's called a watering can. What is another word for watering can? It's watering can. What is a spout? No. No.
It's seriously a watering can?
It's called a watering can. I thought it was in the same group of words as like pail, or like wagon.
Watering pail. It's not watering wagon.
No, it's not wagon, but I just,
That sounds like as seen on TV advertisement. Watering wagon.
I grew up on a farm. We used to fill our wagons with water.
You just dump some off at each flower bed.
Yeah, I don't remember why we did that, to be honest. We had to fill puddles. Yeah. What were we talking about? I don't remember.
So on
John
to the
Waters.
next movie.
So it's John Waters or Adam Driver. Next, we're talking about Little Shop of Horrors. This is a 1986 film. It's considered a classic. It's a musical. It's like a horror musical, and it's directed by Frank Oz, the legendary Frank Oz.
It is barely a horror.
I wouldn't. It's not scary, but we're gonna talk about this.
Starring Rick Moranis.
What's
that Google synopsis say?
Google synopsis reads, Meek flower shop assistant Seymour, played by Rick Moranis, pines for co-worker Audrey, played by Ellen Green. During a total eclipse, he discovers an unusual plant he names Audrey 2, which feeds only on human flesh and blood. The growing plant attracts a great deal of business for the previously struggling store. After Seymour feeds Audrey's boyfriend, Orrin, played by Steve Martin, to the plant after Orrin's accidental death, he must come up with more bodies for the increasingly bloodthirsty plant. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Hubie Halloween. A lot of cameos.
When the first time I saw this, I did not know Steve Martin was in this, so that was a pleasant surprise.
And then right after he's introduced, he's singing about torturing animals.
Yeah. So this is this your first time watching this, Jeff?
It was, yeah.
Okay. And you were the one that suggested this, right?
So, no, someone on Twitter suggested it.
Okay.
And then I just acquiesced.
Right.
I more than acquiesced, if we're being fair. I actually told you that that's what we were watching.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we can just get into it. This is a... I just watched this for the first time recently, too, and I liked it. I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. It is, right off the bat, a very theater kid movie.
Yes.
Like, take that how you will.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a lot of musicals, but this is like the most theater kid-ass movie.
Right.
And that doesn't mean it's bad.
You weren't... Wait, were you a theater kid?
I was in one musical. Yeah, I was in Les Mis, played Sentry number 1.
Okay, I think you've said this before.
Yep. My one line was, a platoon of sappers are advancing towards the barricade.
That is hard to say.
Yeah, I said it all the time, and that's why it's like really...
Your true theater was the pool.
They call movie theaters too, but we'll go with pool. Yeah.
That's where you did your best work.
That was my stage. The water was my...
The water was your line. Were your lines?
Mm-hmm.
No, the suit was your costume.
The suit was, barely a small suit. But did I ever tell you that I got to design the Speedos on the team because I was captain?
You designed the
Speedos? Well, I didn't design them, but I got to pick what the design was when we were ordering them. And
did you put flames on them?
No, I went with flowers. So we all had floral Speedos, and it just looked really... Because like all the other teams, they go with like the boring black or red and blue.
Right.
And I was like, guys, we're going to be the team with the flowers. And we ended up winning conference. So...
All because of the flowers.
All because of the flowers.
On the Speedos.
Yeah. We were an exciting team, I'll say that. Yeah.
The way you phrased that sounded kind of weird. You're like, we were an exciting team.
We were an exciting team.
I'll leave it at that.
If you know what I mean. Okay.
It just sounds so weird.
Yeah, I take it back. We were...
Like, why were you excited?
We were a boring... there's a difference
You're making it sound like the Speedos, like, dissolved while you were swimming.
No.
You were like, everyone in the stands was very eager to see our races, if you know what I mean.
There's a difference, I think, between saying we were an exciting team and we were an excited team. So I think I'm...
Excited sounds so much worse.
So... all right. Back to Little Shop of Horrors.
You're describing the little pool of horrors.
This is such an awful bit. We're just talking about musical theater. Yeah. So did you like the movie, Jeff?
It was all right.
All right, yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I just think that I understand why people really like love it, because it's like so like
it's very like quotable, and like you could sing along to it.
It's fun, and it's like I can.
It honestly is interesting. We watched it for the same episode as Hubie Halloween, because it's similar in that, like, objectively, I'm never gonna give it like 5 stars.
No,
but I see why people would like it, and it's doing one thing very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just like a fun time.
Yeah. So I'll talk about this movie as technically as I can, I guess. I will say, like, the one thing that's like so different about this movie is just how great the plant is. Like the design, the execution, which I think is like I forget how they did it. I had this explained to me, but I think they did it in like slow motion and then sped it up, and that's why it looks so real and good or something. Mm-hmm. But my point is, it looks amazing, and it rides that line of being really comical and fun, and also just like kind of unsettling. Like, it is scary.
Yeah, the fact that it needs like blood, and you just watch Rick Moranis drip blood into its mouth. Right, it's kind of weird. I like stuff a lot that where like I really wish we had more musical comedy horror movies like this, because I love when a movie has a scene where it's got like peppy, like kind of cheerful music, but what is happening on screen is just really horrific. And not to say like this movie was ridiculously horrific, but I just think it's a fun. Yeah. Musical comedy horror, kind of like Jeff's Ghost.
What?
The film I made.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? No, yeah. You should make it into a feature, Jeff.
I don't think that it's very good, so okay. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, never mind.
Someone's like, so you just spent $100,000 making this feature. Why? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know why. It actually wasn't a very good short.
It wasn't a good short, so no. But yeah, did you like the tunes in the movie? The music?
I mean, I don't love like show tunes, and that's kind of what all these were.
Yeah. Same here.
So I mean, they were fine. Like, they're kind of like fun and dancey. Like, so everyone's kind of like,
right,
doing that kind of thing.
Right.
And, Rick Moranis was kind of vibing.
Well, that's another thing. Is like, I didn't think Rick Moranis would make a great star of a musical, but I mean, he's good.
You'd be dead wrong. You'd be dead wrong.
Yeah, I would. I was kind of shocked to see how great he was. Yeah.
You saw that like a couple weeks ago. Rick Moranis got punched on the street for no reason.
Yeah, that
was messed up.
That was messed up.
Rick didn't deserve that.
No, I mean, imagine just having a bad 2020 already, and then
right.
Well,
and
the
then
thing
you
is,
just get punched in the face.
Yeah, it's like you got, and then everybody hears about it.
Yeah.
The most embarrassing part about that is that it was like news.
Right. Well, it's because there was like video of it.
Have you ever gotten punched in the face?
No.
Okay.
Have you?
I don't think so. If I did, it was
so hard that you don't remember.
Yeah. No, if it did, it was like an accident. It's happened like in swimming. We had this stupid drill where you swam with your fists, and it like I'm serious. Like, you put your hands into fists and swim like this because it makes it a lot harder. So like you're really working it makes you focus more on like your abs and stuff.
Are you sure your swimming coach wasn't just forming like a fight club in your swim team? He's like, yeah, so here's what you do. You swim with your fists, and then what you do is you each start in the same lane on opposite sides of the pool.
Well, that's what happened, is like we had each lane, and sometimes you have more than one person in a lane, so it's like I'd be swimming the butterfly down, so my head comes out of the water, and some kid's doing the fist drill, and it just like, it just hits me in the face. And the whole time we're wearing flower Speedos, and it's just, yeah.
See, that makes sense. Honestly, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, that's an exciting team right there.
That's an exciting team. See, if you just said it like that, it wouldn't have sounded weird.
It wouldn't have been weird, no.
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of soccer growing up, and a lot of times...
Get hit in the face?
Yeah, you get hit in the face with the ball. Someone's
Yeah.
like trying to cross it, and you're defending, and they just kick it right at your face.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing like getting hit in the face, you know?
Yeah, I forget exactly. But this was one of the most recent times I played soccer. Mm-hmm. And I just got destroyed in the face. Like, oh, I remember when this was. Okay, so at DePaul, like one of the quarters, I played intramural soccer, but it was just like 5-a-side outdoors.
Yeah.
And there's no goalies. It's small goals, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like the goals are 3 feet, which is like a meter for our non-imperial unit people.
Right.
It's just like a meter wide, right? And it's like cones, and you have to kick it the height of the cone or lower. So it pretty much has to be on the ground. Mm-hmm. Now you're allowed to be, there's like kind of a semicircle that you're allowed to stand just so you don't stand right and load the goal so no one can score. Mm-hmm. So I was defending. This kid runs down the side, right? And he's going to try to shoot it. I'm standing there. He just shoots it as hard as he possibly can from like 8 feet away, and it just smashes me in the face. As hard as he can. I'm like, why would you have done that? That's the point of this is that the goal is like this. It's like this is the height you're allowed to shoot it. Why would you just kick it as hard as you can?
That makes
It just like hit me so hard that I flew backwards.
God. Is it one of those where, like, after you get hit, your face feels like it's moving or something? Like, you feel like something is terribly wrong.
Oh, no, yeah. It hit me so hard that it literally lifted my feet off the ground.
Dude, Jesus
And
Christ.
then I just, like, collapsed.
It's like a cartoon.
Yeah. It was
my God.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you could do that if it's real soccer. You had The point of this is you're just supposed to pass it along the ground.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Anyways, so that was like probably worse than getting punched in the face.
Right. Yeah. Rick Moranis definitely had it a lot worse than us.
Yeah.
Out there in the
streets.
For a
second, I thought you were gonna say Rick Moranis had it coming.
Yeah.
That's what he gets for shrinking his kids.
Well, I think it's funny because, like, I think a week before that happened, it went viral on Twitter that Ryan Reynolds brought back Rick Moranis to advertise for his Wi-Fi company or something. Is that what?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Some phone thing.
And like a week later, he gets punched in the face. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? This is Ryan Reynolds' fault. The twisted mind. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot to say about Little Shop of Horrors if you don't love it. It's just like a very fine, it's a good time. It's a great way to spend a night.
Yeah.
It's like a great way to kick off, I think, if you're doing like a horror marathon. Because it's not scary. It's just kind of like...
It's not scary.
It's get in the mood, you know?
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. So...
Do you ever think about how films like that can't be made today? In terms of the plot of this film, is, I think, possibly the plot that would be most disrupted by the information age and globalism. Mm-hmm. And that if there was this type of plant, it would be all over Twitter like immediately. Yeah. You wouldn't have to promote it on a radio show or anything.
No, yeah. That's very true.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, it's kind of weird, you know, the world's so different.
Well, it's interesting. I don't know if you knew this about this movie specifically. This is like the biggest point I wanted to make about it. But do you know about the alternative ending? It's like an extra 10 minutes.
No.
I don't know if you saw. Let me just ask you this.
Yeah.
Was there the Statue of Liberty at the end of yours? The one you watched?
No.
Okay. So there is an alternative. Most of the budget of this film, and this is for anyone who didn't know this already, most of the budget of this movie went into this last 10 minutes of this movie where Audrey 2 takes over, basically, and a bunch of other Audrey 2s spawn and take over the entire world. and burn down New York City. And because they become a hit, so a bunch of people buy Audrey 2. Like, people all over the world, like, buy their own. And this happens in every home in America, and they just take over and destroy the country. And it's like...
Why is that not the normal ending?
It's got these huge effects.
The ending of this film felt like a cop-out.
Because it was not supposed to end like that. So they showed that to a test audience, and the test audience didn't like that for whatever reason, because it's like maybe too violent or too aggressive. So they had to cut it. But like half the budget went into just those 10 minutes. So it was just a waste of money, basically, because no one really got to see it. But I mean, since then, the whole uncut version has come out digitally, and more people have been able to see it.
Mine, it just gets electrocuted and blows up.
Exactly, yeah, it's
kind of lame.
And the original ending, there's like flames, and literally New York City's like on fire. They're hanging out of windows.
That makes so much more sense with the interaction with the guy who like wants to sell it and is explicitly like, it's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
Because then it just like he leaves, and then it's just like, okay, I guess it's not gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
Nothing came from that. It makes way more sense that that does happen.
So that's just
because it's foreshadowing nothing in the cut. That's the theatrical version.
Right. I can't imagine watching that and cutting it. That's like the most exciting part of the movie, in my opinion. And it's like the only way I was able to watch the ending is on like 360p on YouTube. But yeah, that's my little anecdote.
That's not enough pixels.
No, definitely not. Not the way Frank Oz.
Imagine if you released your videos in 360p. People wouldn't watch them.
No. I mean, I stream in 540, and just today learned how to not do that. But, yeah.
So you're going to stream in 360?
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I'm giving these people too much feast for the eyes.
We're bumping it down a notch.
You're going to be like, subscribers only get to be higher than 360. Is that an option in Twitch? Can you make it so that only subscribers get like good video quality?
I don't know, but that'd be really funny if it was. For some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yes, it's a perk. You don't get like 120p.
You can see
non-subscribers. You can see that I'm there, but not what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Real funny anecdote. Yesterday I was streaming, and I went to take a break and came back and put it on only my face, kind of like this right now. And I started playing the game without switching back to the game recording. So I don't know how long it was, but for like a solid 5 minutes at least, I was just sitting here like talking like, ooh. And I looked over in the chat and everyone was like, nobody tell him. He's not going to see this. That was just a very embarrassing thing that happened. But yeah. Do you have anything else to say about Little Shop of Horrors?
I feel like I should, because we haven't really talked about it.
We haven't really talked about it. But I mean,
we've talked as much about your swim team as we have Little Shop of Horrors.
And getting hit in the face. But I mean, I guess that's like what there is to say about it. You know, it's fun. And
yeah, it's like definitely for everyone. It's worth watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was feeling the exact same score as Hubie Halloween for this, which
I kind of was as well, and I feel kind of bad about it.
Right.
Because this is thought of as like a good
classic
film. Hubie Halloween is like thought of as a sort of bad film.
Yeah. But you know what? No, I take it back.
But honestly, I think I enjoyed them the same.
Right.
I probably enjoyed Hubie Halloween more, honestly.
I also rated this back in August when I first watched it and gave it, I think, like a 3.5 out of 5. So it's like in between 3.5. It's like, I really like this movie. I think it's cool, but it's just not my thing personally.
Exactly. I think it's a better movie than Hubie Halloween, but I think I personally enjoyed Hubie Halloween more.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
not going to say that musicals personally.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm not a big musical guy, even though there are some great musicals out there.
And also, you made the Karstcast theme song.
I did.
So you're a big-time musical guy.
Yep. Cool. Well, that about does it for Hubie Halloween. Little Shop of Horrors. I gave it like a 3 out of 5. You gave it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
And
I gave everything 3 out of 5.
Yep.
But not that mustache. I'm giving that a 4.5.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. We'll get into questions.
I have one quick short segment that I did not tell you about because I never tell you anything about what I'm going to say.
No, I like it.
It's a sports segment.
Here we go.
So as you may have picked up on, just based off how much I've been talking about sports the last few months, inexplicably, Tampa this year has become the greatest sports city in America. It doesn't make sense.
No.
The Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup, which is the championship for hockey, ice hockey. Mm-hmm. The Tampa Bay Rays are currently in the World Series in baseball.
Wow.
Now, yes, for people not in the U.S., even though it's only the U.S. and Canada that plays this sport, and I mean, also a lot of the players are from the Caribbean and like Cuba, the Dominican Republic. But yeah, we call it the World Series, even though it's only from players from like 6 countries.
I never thought of that. That is, I don't know why they call it.
I mean, to be fair, no one else plays American baseball in Europe, or Asia. So I mean, it's like, well, I'm wrong. The other players are from Japan and Korea. Japan and South Korea.
I know a lot of like Japanese baseball teams.
Yes.
With cool.
Tampa actually has one Korean player and one Japanese player.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyways, the series is tied 2-2, best of 7. Last night, Tampa won probably the most insane and like exciting baseball game in World Series history.
Really?
Yeah. They won on a walk-off, which means that the rules are that the team that is the home team, which is weird because they're playing all the games in Texas, which is neither team's home team, but they still assign a team a home team based on where the games would be played if it wasn't because of COVID. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I don't want to get too far into that or any of this, but Tampa was the home team, so they got to bat last, which means in the bottom of the 9th inning, because there's 9 innings in baseball. I'm realizing that probably a lot of people don't know the rules of baseball who listen to this podcast, so I'm going to wrap this up. It was insane. They had like this hit where this guy like bobbled the ball and messed up his throw, and then the catcher like whiffed it. This guy who was running around the bases fell down and like spun, and they started running back, but then he saw the catcher missed it, and then he ran forward and like dove on the plate.
Wait.
And it was like literally on the last pitch of the game.
That is hilarious, to be honest. That feels like just
the play is
a
really
big
funny.
Mistake. Like just a big goof.
Yeah, because Tampa had this guy who no one's ever heard of before the last like 2 months, whose name is he's a Cuban guy named Randy Arozarena, and he's somehow the greatest player ever.
Yeah.
And he scored the winning run.
Wow.
He's the one he was running around the bases, and then he fell over him, was going to be out, but then the catcher like whiffed on the ball and it went behind him, and then he just ran and dove on the plate. Trust me, it was very exciting. If you go on Twitter and type like Rays ending or something, you'll see it. Even though at this point it would have been 2 games ago because it was game 4, and they're playing game 5 in about 25 minutes from when we're done recording this.
Damn, that was cool. No, that was a good sports segment. That was worth.
It's one of those ones where I know that most people aren't going to understand what I just said.
Right.
But I feel like the palpable excitement was enough.
For sure. Yeah, baseball's exciting when the stakes are high.
Yeah, it's exciting at the end of the game. The beginning and middle of the game generally are not that exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game lasted over 4 hours.
Jesus.
Which doesn't sound long to our cricket fans out there. I'm looking at you, Monroe Page. I just know Monroe lives in Wales.
Yeah.
They play cricket there, so I don't know if they like cricket or not. I'm just guessing.
Going for an assumption here. Cool.
I'm assuming that they at least know the rules.
Yeah. I mean, Well,
it just takes a long time. That was the main point.
Right. Well, I'm down to get into questions if you are.
Yeah, me too.
I
love questions.
Hey, we're all thinking it. These come from the Karstcast subreddit. We have none from the Patreon episode or the Patreon page this week, but just a reminder that if you are a $15 patron, one of the perks is that if you ask a question under our question threads, you get it answered in an actual episode.
Not the fake episodes.
Yeah, not the other episodes. Yeah. But yeah, so these come from the Karstcast subreddit r/Karstcast, and this first one comes from El Momento de Owen, and it is, what do you like on your sandwich? What do you like on your sandwich?
So I'm a big BLT guy.
Uh-huh.
Love BLTs.
Right. Who doesn't, you know?
That's one of my top 2 sandwiches. The other is a Cuban sandwich, which has so much stuff on it.
Yeah.
So much stuff.
That's a good one. BLTs are solid. I like a good... What is your go-to bread here?
Go-to bread. So I love sourdough.
Yeah. That's a winner.
But sourdough is, I think, the bread that's most affected by... It's the best bread in the world if it's fresh and warm from when it was baked. And then after it cools down, it's not as good anymore.
Totally agree, yeah. I like
French baguettes, a French rustic baguette.
Unbelievable. I mean, I'm not saying this is a real French baguette, but I got Panera for the first time in a long time today. They've got good bread. I like the Panera bread.
Their bread's solid.
It's okay.
A lot of people kind of... Exactly. I mean, it's decent, for sure. Some people are like, Panera bread's awful and their bread's bad, but it's decent.
Let me ask you this. To answer the question, I really just like a traditional like Italian sandwich.
Right.
Wherever it comes from. Like every sandwich chain, my favorite thing on the menu is the Italian. Because I just like a lot of meats and I like a lot of oils and...
Right.
I just like
you just like the country of Italy.
Right. Like, I like a packed sub.
When you order it, do you do like an Italian accent?
I have the Italian.
The Italiano.
The Italiano.
And you do this?
This is just such a weak... yeah, but let me ask you this, Jeff. I'm going to give you 3 sandwich chains, and I want you to tell me the best one. Between Jimmy John's.
Yeah, Subway's the worst.
I was not even going to ask about Subway because Subway's the worst restaurant in the world. Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's, and Potbelly. What was your top one out of those 3? I know it's not the greatest lineup.
Potbelly always disappoints me. Jersey Mike's, I have this issue with them.
Oh, whoa.
They had this really annoying commercial series. I've mentioned this, I think, before.
All your shit has to do with really annoying commercials.
Yeah.
You brought it up last episode.
They had this guy who was like really like, he was speaking like really softly. He's like, a sandwich can change the world. And then it's like all this like floating sandwich in the sky. And it just played so much and was so aggravating the way the guy spoke. So I refused to eat Jersey Mike's.
Wow. Have you never had it?
I think I've had it once ever, but I refuse to ever eat it.
Damn. You're missing out.
And I know people like it, but I won't.
You're missing out.
It's just a thing for me. I won't eat it because
of that guy.
I'm not rewarding that kind of advertising.
And now, Jimmy John's,
I kind of like. I used to eat it a lot because it used to be right across the street from where I lived in college.
Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy John's is like now, very accessible.
The guy who owns it,
Piece of shit,
seems like a bad person.
One of the worst people, yeah. Anybody who's like a trophy hunter is like a terrible human being.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't eat it very much anymore.
Yeah.
I would say that I only eat it when I'm like really... I would eat it a couple times at DePaul, but it was like when you would have a 3-hour class in the Loop.
That's what I...
And you would have the 15-minute break. It's like something you could actually get and eat in 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's very easy to get.
Right.
At least where we were. But yeah. Jersey Mike's is my pick. Jersey Mike's, no offense, Jeff. Sorry. But
yeah,
if you get it Mike's way, you're getting an amazing sandwich. So, yeah.
Yeah. I would agree that if someone asked me which one's the best, I would say Jersey Mike's too, even though I've only had it once.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but I would agree. I just won't eat it.
What I will say about
Also, I'm not a big sandwich guy. I'm just going to say that out there. I'm not a big sandwich guy.
Well, that's important. What I will say about Potbelly, then, is that they have oatmeal cookies that are unbelievable. They are an amazing cookie. And they come in like this bag, and there's a bunch of... They're just about like this big, and they're so good.
They're only this big?
No, well, they're like this big, I would say. Like they're little cookies because they all come in a bag, and yeah. That does it for that question. Next we have Golden Trigger 42, and it is, what is your favorite TV show? Why is it not Breaking Bad? And Karsten, why is it Twin Peaks?
So I've only seen the first episode of Breaking Bad.
Really? You should watch through the rest of it. It's an amazing show.
It was a couple years ago I watched it. I might actually have to give it a go.
Yeah,
on that.
It's a good one.
My favorite show growing up was Futurama.
Yeah.
I feel like we've answered this at some point. It's such a
I thought
general question,
but I realized I was like, I never heard what Jeff's favorite show was for some reason. So
yeah, I think growing up it was definitely Futurama.
Okay.
And I also loved Psych growing up.
Yeah. I've heard you say that
because it's just like a dumb escapist show, kind of like Hubie Halloween with much smarter writing.
Okay.
It's like endearing for the same reason.
Yeah.
You don't really have to think too much.
Nice.
You just watch a guy pretend to be a psychic and call his friend dumb names.
Yeah. Well, yeah, mine are honestly like tied. I wouldn't say Twin Peaks is my favorite show because season 2 really does take a dip, but it is an amazing show. And also, like,
is it tied with BoJack?
I would say no. I was gonna say BoJack is my top. Like that's number one. I think BoJack and Breaking Bad, to be honest, are tied. Those are my two. Both start with B's, so
Yeah, BoJack is like definitely top 10 for me.
Yeah, that show is just, it's amazing. It's so good.
I also like Stranger Things a lot.
Stranger Things, yeah.
Especially the first season, yeah. I still think the third season's better than the second season.
Yeah. So no, I don't agree with that. But yeah.
I was like, you had a whole video where you were arguing the opposite of that.
I was gonna say no, but I legitimately think now that like time has passed, that first season of Stranger Things will go down as like a classic in media. Yeah. Like it's a perfect season.
It's just
of
such
television.
A perfect 80s nostalgia.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's so true to the nostalgia, but it's also
and like technically it's so good, and the music is so good.
Mm-hmm. It's a really amazing season. So, and it's like it's like Netflix's first big thing. I know they had like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black and stuff, but I feel like Stranger Things took them to a new level, and it'll be remembered for that specifically. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Is this a light switch? What is this deal?
Yeah, that's your house, man.
Oh, it is a light switch.
No. Is that the question? Because I didn't.
Well, we answered it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess was that actually the question?
I had never noticed that before.
You said I have a question for you. And then this last one,
and I guess this is like a thing for the curtains.
It kind of looks like a doorknob from my view.
It does, but it's not a door. It's you stick the curtains there and like this, and then.
Oh, okay.
It's a balcony out there.
This last one comes from Ryan. Last one comes from Ryan Drew. I'm not laughing at anything, just at the for some reason. If you could switch bodies with any person, living or dead, who would you switch bodies with? Also, subscribe to Jeff. This is a weird question, but we were low on questions this week.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I'm gonna give you. I have an idea.
Okay.
Did you just play the and then cancel it when I started talking?
Well, we didn't need to listen to the whole thing, and it was mostly referring to me.
Because it just kind of sounded like a fart.
Well, let me just prove it wasn't a fart. Yeah, that wasn't. It's very clearly not just gassy today.
Yeah, so I haven't made a video in a while. But I had this idea that I wanted to run by you real quick.
Go ahead.
So you know how there's some channels that one of the things they do is they just eat or drink old food products that expired a long time ago? Mm-hmm. I have found a can of C2, which was a Coke, it was kind of like a new Coke type product that expired in 2005. I found one in my room, an unopened can of C2. In addition to that, I also found when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl in 2002, they gave out commemorative bottles of Coke in these like cardboard boxes. I also have that unopened. I have unopened Coke products that are like over 15 years old.
So you're going to drink those on YouTube?
Yes. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a brilliant idea. You should totally do it. I just don't.
I could have you on there as well.
What would I do?
You would just be watching me drink them.
Yeah. Why not? I don't know how you would market that. Would the title just be like drinking old?
I drank
Coke?
old Coke.
Yeah, I think that could be a hit, to be honest. So I approve.
All right, we're gonna find a time. We'll do that like the same day we do the Twitch, maybe.
Yeah. Cool. Well, did we answer this question? No, we didn't answer it yet.
It'll be two videos. One's I drank old Coke, and then the second will be I drank old Coke again. Oh wait, I drank old Coke, and then I drank even older Coke.
Yeah. That'll be really funny. You should totally.
We're gonna do that.
Yeah, we're
gonna do that.
Absolutely doing it.
Yeah. So just send me a tweet at me if you want me to do that.
Mm-hmm. Gonna get that splash.
All right. So to answer this question, who would I switch bodies with? That's a good because there's a couple ways to think about this. You could just do like an athlete.
Yeah.
Because then you just get to be the athlete and make a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
But you could then it's like you could do an old athlete like LeBron or a young athlete because then you're like, oh, I still got like a bunch of time left to be good at sports.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could be like just an actor. But that would be tough because you would have to be good at acting as well. They'd be like, wow, why did like Bradley Cooper just get really garbage at acting? Like, why can't he act anymore?
Yeah. Let me think about this. I had a really stupid answer, but I want to think about this a little bit more.
It'd be really confusing if we switched bodies with each other.
Yeah, like a Freaky
Think
Friday.
about how confusing that would, but that'd be so confusing for the podcast because it would just be the opposite people making the opposite points.
You would just say like, would I still say hello and do all the things that I usually do just in your body?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then also would I have to because you would still have access to your YouTube account, so you would just make videos, but you'd be in my body.
I'm freaking out right now. Like imagine like we have the same voice, but the way we talk just changes over.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know if I like this.
Because I'm like trying to picture it right now. That basically it's trying to do an impression of, because it's like doing an impression of you, but not trying to change my voice. Just doing like.
Oh, perfect impression.
It's just, what do you want to see? Have I ever shown you my Nahal impression? This is no.
You have, and it's great. Do it.
Dude, what?
That is a good impression.
It's only funny to us because no one else listening to this.
Nahal was on like the
third
episode, second episode,
yeah, early on.
Yeah.
But Nahal's. Oh, we were gonna hang out today. Damn. Yeah. Anyways, also some exciting news. I finished this roll of film. That is
nice.
Yeah.
I still have a roll in my like a mini that I need to finish.
Yeah.
Better finish that soon, actually.
Yeah. This one. Well, this expired a long time ago, but I just haven't gotten it developed.
Yeah. So you accounted for the exposure difference?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're gonna see how this one turns out. This is a really old roll, but I have a new roll that I also just finished. So I have 2 rolls that need to get developed. Anyways, yeah, I don't know who I would switch my body with. I would say Armie Hammer, because I think Armie Hammer is very. I think he's one of the most attractive celebrities, but he has a terrible personality. Right. So I would just change things for him.
What about Oscar Isaac?
Ooh, that would be also intense, yeah. Or Brad Pitt. Yeah. Brad Pitt would be overwhelming. I couldn't live his life. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be too much for me.
Yeah. Anyways.
What about Tom Cruise? That'd be so weird.
Oh,
You'd have like, inside all of the Scientology stuff.
Damn. Well, I guess that answers that. I guess we should start wrapping things up. We've been going for a while.
We should.
Now.
It's been this podcast is gonna become a sleep podcast.
Yep.
Because it's so long, you couldn't have stayed.
Not at all.
Awake the whole time.
So we'll just start by announcing the next movie, which will be Elena Holmes. Alona?
That's not.
What's it called?
Well, I knew what it was, and then now that you said the wrong thing, I forget what it was.
It totally, yeah. Oh, it's
Enola
Holmes.
Yeah.
Are we really watching
like
this?
A palindrome.
Yeah, this is on Netflix. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's like a Sherlock Holmes type of movie.
We only watch Stranger Things kids films now.
Yeah. Apparently, and it stars Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
And
what if?
Yeah.
Instead of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the movie was Honey, I Shrunk the Stranger Kids. Stranger Things kids. Stranger Kids. I don't know what's happening anymore. We gotta wrap this up.
We need to. We're losing steam.
We're losing it.
Enola Holmes next week. Next, we'd like to read a review. We encourage you guys to leave reviews because it helps us. It really, just a little bit.
It inspires us.
It inspires us. So this one this week comes from Breadathan.
Breadathan.
Breadathan, yeah. Subject line is I still think it should be Podkarst. It is a 5-star review, and it reads, really entertaining and genuine. Basically just listening to two friends talk about films. And I'm in full support of it. Thanks, Breadathan. We appreciate it.
What if I did just
that for the rest of the episode? That's a...
It's like 3D feeling, right? Like
yeah.
Put your 3D glasses on now.
Lastly, we'd like to thank our lovely patrons that come from patreon.com/Karstcast. If you want to get in on the fun of being a patron, where we have exclusive access to bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, Zoom Hangouts, there'll be one pretty soon for November, where we play GeoGuessr and just kind of hang out and answer questions. Go to patreon.com/Karstcast. We have tons of fun stuff going on out over there, and we would really appreciate the support. So yeah, without any further ado, let me just load this screen. You're going to say something?
Hubie doobie ado.
Yeah.
Is it because they kept saying
right,
something like
right,
that.
Yeah. Thank you to that's a name. Once this loads. Allison Grace, Annabelle Falk, Bex, Blake Root, Boat, Brandon Yu, Brock Schultz, Cameron Mason, McCurdy, Camilla, Drew Jackson, Eden, Fozzie Bear, Grant Gow, Hannah E, Holly Edwards, Iron Tuss 93, Isabel, Iva, Jaden Easton, Jacob Kolnis, John Van Hout, Joshua Krzwicki, Josie Eiler, KDT, Kevin Turner, Kiana Liqui, Liv Rob, Lucian Vecina, Luke Vineyard, Maddie Robertson, Martin Deff, Mary Lee Borslow, Michael Decker, Moses Ox, Monroe Page, Pablo Patel, Parks, Ready Steady, Ernie, Robert Burke, Sam Farr, Sophia Arieta, Supercalifragilistic XBalidocious, Smitty Werbin, Jagerman Jensen, Taylor Hardy, Teal Bacon, 10 Billion, Toad Pimp, Vegard Strom, Farah S, Yoki Sasquatch, and Yusef A. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, patrons.
Love you guys.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Catch you on the flip side.
Oh my god, so fast. Catch you on the flip side.
Flip side.